honestly, I think you couldn't really be someone that covered rap music in any serious capacity without being in touch with what was going on in the blog community, because ultimately, that's where the music was coming from. And, like anyone else that loves hip-hop music, I wanted to hear the latest stuff as soon as it leaked, and, Now Right was the place to go for that. Well, I mean, I definitely think that the kids that do Madberry Club, Philip and them, I think they have a really interesting thing going on their site right now. They haven't quite taken it to the point of monetization, but I think that what they're building there is really organic and grassroots, and I think that they have an opportunity to create one of the first properties that's a sort of non print-backed magazine-esque vehicle, as far as the credibility. Obviously I think a lot of the sites within the network do a lot of great things. Consequence of Sound, I think, is a really great place if you want to, sort of keep track of independent music and as well as rap. I think that it's interesting to see how the sort of the Nah Rights and the Two Dope Boys and the NMC sites are going to evolve over these next few years, because ultimately Nah Right's been around for 5 years, and for a kid that is 18, that's their entire adolescence. That's all that they know is Nah Right. So there's a chance, and a likely chance, that that person is going to end up being 28 and still wanting to know what SK thinks about this song or that song, as long as they're still sort of tuned into the culture. So, I think how all of these guys that are sort of at the top of their games right now change and sort of evolve the content and the way that they communicate with their fans is going to be really interesting. On the business side, the Complex Media Network gives us a huge advantage. My boss Rich Antonello, in I guess it was the fall of 2007, just sort of had the realization that there was this opportunity to create an advertising network within the sort of topical umbrella that sits underneath Complex, and that there were all these great blogs that got huge amounts of traffic, but didn't have representation. So I think first of all, that was just a sort of genius epiphany on his part that gave us a sort of foothold in this space. And then for my part on the edit side, once I saw how successful things were going in that direction, it became clear to me that my whole edit team needed to be involved in this, and that we had to reposition the entire brand around this new medium, because I think you can't just hold on to the things that and expect to be successful. The world changes, and how people want to experience stories, it just shifts. So in 2008, I basically sat down with my whole staff and was like, look, everybody else puts their B team on the websites. It's how every magazine in that era sort of acted. It was the people that you liked but weren't quite on the print team, they would get the web slots. And I was like, all right, look, if we put our A team against everyone else's B team, we'll win. I know this for a fact. It's going to mean 30 to 50% more work for everyone, but I would rather work 50% harder than go home now. So let's just do it. And everyone here just stepped to the challenge, and I think you saw in the summer of 2008, all of a sudden all of our web content started cracking in the same way that the magazine content did. So I think it's really, our success is really just about a philosophical shift.
That, y'all, it's like that, y'all. I don't really give a fuck about it at all, cause the same people that try to blackball me forgot about